Good evening and welcome to the Paranormal Lens. It's Tuesday night. My name is Chad Thomas and this is Jamie Widener. We're both with Jott-Nyx Paranormal out of the Lancaster area. Jamie, what's going on? How are you this week?
I'm doing great, my friend. Doing great. It's Tuesday, so here we are.
hmm
Usual hustle and bustle to get here. So let's. I don't waste too much time. I know we got a lot to cover tonight, so I will. I'll deflect that answer a little bit just to say all's well and
Okay.
ask you how you are, of course, because
I, I'm doing okay. It's been a busy week with things at
yep,
work and school, and it's crazy. But
yes,
again, we got a lot going on tonight, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. Tonight, we're going to talk about Selma Mansion, but we have a couple special guests with us to talk about it. I'm going to bring them in. We've got Sabrina and we've got Michaelene. Um, if you guys could take a minute to just introduce yourselves a little bit, and then we can jump into the history. Michaelene, can we start with you?
Sure. Hi, my name is Michaelene Lebron. I'm actually on the board for the Norristown Preservation Society. We are involved with the restoration of Selma Mansion, as well as starting to expand out to other buildings and places in Norristown, such as the old prison that they're trying to save now.
Okay,
cool.
cool. And Sabrina?
Sabrina, I am a member of Selma Mansion, so I help out with some events like the Psychic Fair. We are on our 6th year, and yeah, we've been done a lot of investigations. It was one of my first training grounds when I first started in the paranormal back in 2011. So I'm really excited to keep up with the preservation of Selma Mansion.
Very cool. Very good. So I am just going to jump into the history that I found right now.
Before you get that far, it's just
Sorry.
friends. So, we have people rolling in with comments. I'm going to pop them up, maybe step in just to say something that's relevant to where we are in the conversation. But first of all, thanks to everybody who's joined us so far. I see Todd and Carmela are here, Jenny, Jim, Brittany, and Marie. So you guys, thanks for joining us, and I'm sure more folks will pop in. But if you have any comments for yourselves along the way, feel free to drop them in. And like I said, I'll try to pop them into the conversation as we go along.
All right.
You can. Good to see you, buddy.
You can tell I'm excited to get to the meat of the story here. Right?
I know, right? We gotta let's go.
So I want to be honest.
A little bit of housekeeping first, though. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Here we go. All right, let's get.
All right. So I'm going to be honest. I've never been to investigate Selma Mansion, but I have been there one time, and that was in May for the Holistic Fair. I went and actually had an energy healing with Sabrina. It was the most amazing thing ever. So I'm just going to give you that credit. I walked around feeling like I was high the rest of the day. It was so. But anyway, I did get to wander through the building, and it definitely has some interesting feels to it. So I'm looking forward to finding a time to investigate, because Selma is one of those places that combines two of my favorite things, which are history and the paranormal. So a quick dive into the history that I found. The Selma Mansion was built and it was completed in 1794, I believe. Michaelene said they started building it in 1786, somewhere around there. It was the family home of Andrew Porter. Porter had been commissioned as a captain to the Continental Marines in 1776 and worked his way up to the rank of lieutenant colonel commandant. After the war, he served as major general in the Pennsylvania militia and was also the state of Pennsylvania's surveyor general. He was one of the commissioners tasked with working out the border disputes between Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Ohio. So he'd had quite a bit of interesting parts of history. The mansion was part of what was the Selma Farm Estates. The farm was built on a knoll that was the peak of an open area of land. From this knoll, you could see almost into Philadelphia. Porter and his family lived on the farm until the death of Porter and his widow in 1821. It was at this point that the Knox family purchased the farm. The first family member to own the property was Andrew Knox, a former ship merchant. Andrew farmed the land until it was purchased by purchased the surrounding farms, which I think took it to its highest peak acreage. But it was also Thomas Knox who started to sell off the land. In 1853, he had 44 acres divided into lots. This started the development of the west end of Norristown. Thomas also added the portico and balcony to the front of the house, which we'll get to some of those pictures later. This gave the house its ornate plantation mansion look, which lasted almost 150 years. Thomas Knox passed away in 1879, and the house was passed to his daughter and son-in-law, Joseph and Ellen Forrence. In 1902, they sold another 20 acres, resulting in more development in the area. They lived in the house until they passed in the late 1920s. The house was then occupied by Major Joseph Knox Forrence and his wife, Ruth Ryder Forrence. Joseph lived in the house until he passed in 1965, and Ruth remained until 1983. After that point, the house remained unoccupied. Ruth intended the house be donated to the county or the township, but neither entity wanted the property. It was purchased by a developer who built an apartment complex around the mansion. As with many of these historic properties, the wrecking ball was lining up to take down this treasure, but in this case, the Norristown Preservation Society was formed to preserve not only the mansion, but also the entire town. Now, obviously, I've left out a lot of details, but I'm hoping that's a good base to start with for some conversation. Let me throw up some pictures here. So this is, Sabrina, I think this is one of the pictures that you sent me. It's got the house with a nice redbud tree in front of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty spring picture.
Yeah. And then this is, I think, one of my favorite pictures. It's a black and white picture of the house, and it shows the portico and the balcony on it. It's just it has that classic plantation look. So,
and then that building off to the side in the picture, that was the summer kitchen, which got torn down when they were building the apartments.
So that's a shame when those things happen.
Absolutely.
So this is a picture of the Knox family on the front porch, and then a close up of them. Michaelene, do you have any more information on the Knox family that you can give us, or?
Not too much more information than what you had given.
Okay.
We do have books at the house with some individual information on the family members.
Okay. All right. And then this is Mrs. Forrence and her dog. Is that right?
Yes, it's one of the dogs. It's either Liberty or Lucky.
Okay.
Aw.
She had 2 German Shepherds
Okay.
over the years.
Wow. So I think some of the things that I dug up on the Forrence family was that she obviously had a plaque, or she wanted to donate the property to someone so that it was preserved and kept up and taken care of. But when that didn't happen, it went to another family member who basically just wanted to sell it. And they had was it a yard sale or garage sale? And
they called it an estate sale.
Okay.
It was pretty much a big yard sale on the front lawn of the property where they sold all the contents of the house.
Right. And I mean, this is all obviously stories, but there were stories of trunks that were sold that possibly contained Civil War uniforms that went for nothing, like a couple dollars, because they wanted to liquidate everything. So,
yes.
We do have a question I think we can pop in here from Marie. Do people still leave flowers for the missus?
Yes, they do. Some people leave fresh cut flowers. Other will bring small potted like rose bushes. And we actually have a couple of the rose bushes planted outside of the mansion now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, thanks for the question, Marie. That's really cool.
Okay. This is again just another overview shot. I find it interesting how the facade is slowly. I mean, it's coming off of it, and the portico was taken off, but you can see where it was at one point.
I think that's
We
a pretty
still have the
older
full
picture.
portico.
What's that? I'm sorry.
We still have the portico in storage.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I like the
it
house.
was in the house, inside the house actually, up until about maybe 7-8 years ago,
Okay.
on the second floor, where we carried it out and put it into storage.
I like the house that looks like it has tan lines. So you know, not quite. I'm kidding. It's fascinating how when something's been there for so long, it leaves that imprint. You know, obviously it was fixed against the building and secured and so forth, but it tells you this should be here. You know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
thankfully you have the historical records to show what it was and everything for those who can't see it today. You know,
Right.
and hopefully someday it gets its way back, of course, with it being in storage. But are there plans for it to be reinstalled at some point?
Eventually, down the road, that would probably be one of the last things done.
Okay.
We're working on getting the rest of the windows restored, and everything's a process with it being historic, and only certain vendors can do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the historical property, they have to be certified. We have some of
Yes.
that out our way with a HARB, Historical Architectural Review Board, in our community here in Columbia, PA, and it challenges what you can and can't do, what you want to do and what you can do.
Right.
And a lot of times, the board, of course, has oversight, and they will refuse an applicant simply because of the materials they want to use. It has to be original woods, or it can't be any kind of composite. It gets very detail oriented, and
Right.
very frustrating for those who really can't go to the line that the board wants them to go to based on their own ability. Just a
Mhm.
homeowner. But
Well, it comes down to things like I was at one place. They were telling us a story that they had a bee's nest that got built in the wall, and they said, you can drill a hole in the plaster because we can replace the plaster, but whatever you do, don't take the woodwork off, because if you take the woodwork off, we have to go through a process, and they ended up having to pull the woodwork off because of where it was. So now they can't get the woodwork replaced until they go through the whole process, and it's a shame. So,
gosh, here's a comment from Todd and Carmela. Michaelene, we attended the October Halloween public event last year. Will it happen again this year? And we might be getting to that, so we might be getting a little ahead on this, Todd. Everyone close your eyes and ears. It was like a private event. Had a great time.
Oh. Yeah, we'll probably get to the events,
mhm.
More to come.
Well, Michaelene will let you know.
All right. All right, so we're getting inside some now. This is a bathroom, and I'm not sure where is this. Can you tell us where this is in the house? Is it first floor, second floor?
That is the third floor upstairs bathroom. That is
Okay.
located on what would have been the servants' quarters of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool clawfoot tub in it. I love these pictures. The mood that these pictures have is pretty cool.
Yeah, they all make really good pictures, Oh my God, I love them. What is that? That's looking from the bathroom down the hall. Yeah.
Okay.
That's from the bathroom
Yeah.
view.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then this is looking down. I guess there's two flights of steps. I think this is both flights of steps, correct?
Yeah, there's one from the third floor to the second floor, and then the second floor to the first floor.
So, and it's cool that they have the curved banisters, and it's got a great feel to it.
Mhm.
Now I'm seeing in this picture there's some wallpaper on the one floor. Is that do we know is that fairly original, or is that recent?
Original.
Or
It was wallpapered, I believe, as you go down the steps from the third floor to the second floor. It's actually on the wall. I think it was 1854 or something.
okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
I hung wallpaper like 10 years ago and it fell down already. So they don't. I don't know. Jeez.
All right. Oh, and then Jamie, this is
That's what you call super glue, right there.
Yeah. So, and then this is a picture of two different dormer windows, which would be on the third floor. I love dormer windows, and these are just amazing. And it looks like there's some built-in cabinetry on the side of the one.
Yes, that would have been in what would have been. Go ahead, Sabrina.
No, I said it gives a lot of character, those type of windows. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the one with the cabinetry built in would have been where the older kids resided, their rooms, and then across the hall, directly from that would have been where the nursery was. It also has built-in cabinetry.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Is the glass in those dormer windows original? Are they still the first set of windows, or they've been replaced? And I ask because all that curved glass is unique, and
they have not been replaced since
much anymore.
The Preservation Society has been caring for the house. They might have been replaced in the past, but those are some of the windows we're working on getting replaced.
Okay. So, and this is the fireplace room on the second floor,
which would be we refer to it as Mr. Fornance's room. That room.
Okay. All right. Now, Sabrina, is this where you were set up for the holistic fair?
I was in Mrs. Fornance's room, so where the roses would go. We were in that room.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think you probably saw the roses on top of that fireplace when you were in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I took out my contacts, so I'm squinting to look at some of the pictures.
Okay. So.
If it means anything, I have to put glasses on to do this, so we're good. So we're all people of a certain age, whatever age that is.
And then what would an old historic house be without a doll?
Of course.
So I like this because it's shows some of the character, like the old radiators. Like they're just seeing stuff like that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the curtains. And then let's see, we've also got this sofa, which you've got a far shot of it, and then a close-up picture with the springs coming out of the bottom.
That's a cool.
It reminds me of the sofa that's at the bar at Booby's Brewery, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you feel like you're just going to fall through it, but it holds on. So far, so good.
Yep. So, and then this is just another angle from the outside. So we just walked through a bunch of pictures, but what Sabrina, you said this is one of the first places you investigate. What did you find there? What can you tell us about it?
Oh God, it's been so long ago. Yeah, so we it was just one of those things where like we were learning everything, like equipment. We were in our training process. I was with South Jersey Ghost Research, and a whole bunch of our team got together for a training. I do remember like trying to learn how to tune in, and I specifically remember the third floor in particular. I remember sitting in the room next to the bathroom, and I just remember it was like the feeling was like, oh, there's a grumpy old man here. And that's exactly what I felt. And from that point on, it's like, that's how I realized I could tune into of spirit and their emotions and stuff. So, I mean, it's very vivid to me when I was investigating, and come to find out that other people were getting experience. So it was very much a validation for me. And I called him, I just visualized a grumpy man that was a worker there. And I think that was his room, wasn't it, Michaelene?
What room is that?
It's the one off to the bathroom. It was the one where I call Mr. Grumpy. That's why I named him Mr. Grumpy. I always called him Mr. Grumpy. But it goes down
down to the bathroom. On that side of the building, one would have been the butlers and one would have been like the nannies the maids.
Mm-hmm. So I think it was like the butler, I would assume that it was. It's the bathroom and then the next room, and then it's the next room. And that's the one where it's heavier. That's the heavier room.
Mhm.
Okay.
And yeah, from that. So that was my first investigation, but I had plenty of other things that happened.
Okay. So, Michaelene, do you have any experiences that you can share with us from there?
There's quite a few experiences that I've had over the years. One of the very first times I was at the house, it was for a history day back in 2014. And it was the first time my two sons were at the house. And my older son, up in that bathtub on the third floor, he asked why there was dirty, nasty water in there with a woman. The tub was completely empty. There was some dirt in the tub, but no water, no nothing.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the first things. Over the years, I've been there many times alone, before events, waiting for groups to come in. There's footsteps throughout the house, all different floors. You'll hear knocks, you'll hear like doors opening. One of my most profound things was I was sitting out back, waiting for a group to come, and it was a fall day where it gets dark a little on the earlier side. And I kept seeing like dogs walking out of the corner of my eye, and I was waiting for them to come. If you've ever been to Selma at back when you're sitting on the little bench area, if you look to your right, there's steps that lead down from the apartments, and a lot of people come out from the apartments to walk their dogs. There were no people coming out with their dogs. It was Mrs. Fornance walking her dogs.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, so not only are there human spirits at the mansion, but there's also animal spirits. There's a cat.
Yeah, I saw the cat. Yeah.
Which we learned it was Mr. Fornance's cat. He was a three-legged cat named Smokey because he got his leg caught in a muskrat trap at the creek.
Oh.
Huh. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I did see the cat, and I was like, I thought the cat and Dee was up there, and I was like, I just thought I saw the cat, and she's like, oh, you finally saw the cat. I'm like, yeah, I saw the cat. I thought my cat was. I just like, so, I was ready to come down and pet the cat, and I really wait a minute. I'm not at home or anything. I'm in Selma, and I just saw a cat that wasn't there. It was just so cool, you know.
Amanda's saying that they thought they may have seen the cat in the room with the piano. And
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we keep a lot of the cat toys. This was actually up on the third floor in the nursery room where I thought I saw it zip on by. But yes, we do keep a lot of the toys down in that room.
Okay.
There's another question here going off away from the pets. Oh, actually, I clicked the wrong one. I'm sorry. Well, any history on the tree in the back from Marie?
What tree in the back?
There is I think there's a couple.
There's a couple of larger subgum trees in the back, and then there's some smaller trees.
All right, so Marie, I'll let you catch up to that question of which one, and we'll move on. We'll come back to you. And let's see, we have a question from Todd and Carmela. Sabrina, we think the room you described as heavy is where we had a REM. I think it should be REM pod set up on a chair and cat ball on floor. The light anomaly dropped into REM pod and triggered it and the cat ball simultaneously.
Yeah. That seems to be, like I said, my first experience within the house. That's like primary, vividly what I remember. And then I think the next one would probably be, and everybody in Michaelene that was there, my daughter is sitting right next to me, about the crystal bowl. Remember, Michaelene?
Oh, yeah.
So
was that during a tea party or a psychic fair?
It was the tea party. So they have what they do some events is these tea parties. It was probably by far one of my favorite tea parties. But with the tea parties, we also have a little bit of vendors. So we had a couple of readers. I was doing some crystal ball healing all the way up on the third floor. and they were downstairs doing their tea party. And my daughter was with me. And at that time, we were breaking off. So I went to go to a reader's room, and we were talking about a reading that she was doing on with me. Another one of our readers was in the other room alone. We heard the... so she was with Emily Taylor. My daughter was with Emily, and she was downstairs. And I heard my crystal balls go off. Well, I thought Taylor was in the room just showing Emily how to do the crystal ball, because it was literally vibrating. It was like going, if you ever heard crystal balls. And all I hear is the running up the steps, and then they come into the room, and they looked at me like with this look, like, you're here. Something was in the other room doing your crystal balls. And Nicole, who was the reader, she heard it. They all went into that room. Once they stepped over that threshold, the crystal ball stopped. So, I mean, they saw nobody in the room but the crystal ball going off and realizing it wasn't me. And they heard it downstairs. Everybody in the tea party heard it was so loud. Michaelene, the way they described it, it was very loud.
Yes, it was. And we just thought you were up there.
But it was not me. And that is probably one of the most, every time I try to bring my crystal ball every once in a while and set it in the children's room and see if they want to play with again. So hopefully we get it again. I really do.
That's really cool.
A profound moment with us. I think all of us, because we were all there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of witnesses, you know what I mean? So,
wow. I want to circle back. Marie gave us some more information here, so let me pop that up. If you go around toward the apartments facing them, it's the tree to the left. Someone I was investigating with once was saying something about someone hung themselves.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
yeah.
Now, there is a lady in white where if you're sitting out back and you're looking at the smaller building of the two, the one that has a little walkway to enter at like the second level, or there's a garage door like at the lower part, you'll see a lady in white walk out from there, and she'll walk from there around to the front of the mansion. But I've never heard of anyone hanging themselves in any of those trees.
Okay. So we've been talking quite a bit about, paranormal stuff that happens there. If a group wants to investigate and do a paranormal investigation, how would they go about doing that? How would they set that up?
They can reach out to, right now it is under the Norristown Preservation Society / Selma Mansion on Facebook through Messenger. Okay. At the end of September, I can go in, and this page is just going to become Norristown or Selma Mansion of Norristown, PA. And the Preservation Society, since we're branching out to other buildings and aspects of historical things in Norristown, there is going to be a new Norristown Preservation Society page up. Okay. But the Selma Mansion, this page that's established will still have everything Selma Mansion on it with a link to the Preservation Society page.
Okay. Cool. So just reach out through Facebook is the easiest way to do that then at this.
Yes, or I can give you my email if you want to put it up. I don't know if you can link it into the chat. Yeah,
if you want to.
It's Michaelene, Michaelene 320 @gmail.com.
All right. Well, we'll get that up in a minute or so.
Your name is like a tongue twister.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Chad pronounced it right first shot.
I was guessing, so.
I thought my name was unique, and I never get a keychain or anything in the gift shop on the way out of something. So I can only imagine you have the same life story that I do that way.
Years ago, up at Music Fest in Bethlehem, there was a guy there, and he was carving like name keychains out of wood on site. So I did have one with my name on it.
Oh, fantastic.
I lucked out. It was great.
Awesome.
Every once in a while, I'll find Sabrina. It's
I
coming.
assume Sabrina's a little bit more mainstreamish than, and I get it.
Yeah.
There's only so many they can put out there. But yeah. I want to circle back just real quick. Marie had a final thought on the tree and the hanging. Okay, that's what I thought. I never got any type of feeling for that. Thank you for clarifying with a smiley emoji. So, thanks, guys.
And you said it's
and live up to Bethlehem. So hey, ha.
So you said it's your name 320@gmail.com, right?
Yes.
All right.
There it is.
So.
All right, and that'll stay with this program through the postings and so forth. So it's preserved in the chat.
So let me throw on the screen. Let's see. You guys have something coming up. It's the Selma Mansion 6th Annual Psychic Fair on September 21st at 10 a.m. Sabrina, you want to talk? 'Cause I think this is your baby, isn't it?
Yes, it is her baby.
Yeah, when I met Dee at Selma Mansion, we hit it off, as friends, and doing investigations and coming to other events, and we just did this brainstorm. Like, I just wanted to do something for Selma Mansion and try to raise money, and we thought about doing a psychic fair and having some readers and holistic vendors. And our very first one, we were so nervous. I'll never forget, right, Michaelene? We were just so nervous of doing, and it just blew up. I mean, it was fantastic. We had so many people. We raised so much money. All the proceeds go to the preservation. We do raffles. All that money goes to the preservation. The vendors' fees. We have such a good time. It's very a family atmosphere. Everybody is just so happy to be there. It's just, and everybody, all our vendors and readers come back every year. So it's just such amazing, the support that we get from everybody who comes out and does this event. Even with COVID, we dealt with COVID that one time. And when we came back, I mean, we had lines out the wazoo for our readers. I mean, it was just amazing. But we have everything from crystals, people selling crystals. We have quite a few readers. We have workshops. We'll do we'll do crystal ball healings. My husband over there, who's running down here I don't know why he's running down here, but he's doing a meditation this time around. We're going to have a panel with James Anito, me, Athena, and John Covey, dealing with, our spiritual warfare and doing, our investigations and doing like negative cases and understanding spiritual warfare with that. So we're going to do a little bit, change up in our workshop and lectures this year. So, oh my God, what else? Michaelene, what am I missing? I get all kind of, hyper when it comes to talking about this.
We have some about 3 or 4 new vendors. It'll be their first time at Selma this year.
Mm-hmm.
Between like reading and metaphysical stuff and different craft items.
Oh yeah, pottery. This one, I mean, all of it's, helping small business. People who are just have such good talent too. So it's really, nice. And of course, food. We'll have right, Michaelene? Do we have food?
Yes, we have a food vendor.
Okay. And yeah. I mean, this is our 6th year. We did, unfortunately skip the year, but we were paying respect to one of our members that had passed away. So, it was a very difficult moment for us. So we thought it'd be appropriate to, keep his memory and just, take a little breather with that. But we're back again this year, and we couldn't be more excited. We've been in newspapers, we've been in I think we've been in a magazine before. So yeah.
Cool. Now, do you have any spaces open yet, or are you completely booked for the event?
We always book out pretty much as far as inside, but outside space, of course. So we always find room, right, Michaelene?
We have tons of outdoor space, so.
I mean, there's a lot of land out there. I mean, so we could branch out, all around, all into the back area. We're going to do probably our lectures are going to be outside. Hopefully we get some good weather. What else, Michaelene? The third floor, we have Chuck Sanders. He does photography. So he'll do amazing work. So if anybody wants to come out and get
mini photo shoots.
Yeah. So upstairs with those beautiful windows and the lighting, the way the lighting is, and get dressed up, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Family photos.
So is there a cost for this event?
It is it's a donation. So we have it's a $10 donation to get in, and that does cover all the lectures, whatever lectures we have, workshops, and the meditation. So, and of course that all goes to the preservation.
Right.
I'm not really sure what is on the next list. I guess everything would probably be going toward those windows, Nick, or are we in line for something else?
Right now we're working on securing funds to restore the rest of the windows. And then once all the windows are completed, we can look on restoring the plaster, some of the plaster that's cracked, deciding on what period we want to redo parts of the house to.
Okay. And these funds, I mean, throughout the years that we were doing the psychic fair and with the other events, I mean, there was a heater, there was an air conditioner before. I mean, people want to come in and do an investigation in the winter, but it was just too cold. They had to shut it down. So, I mean,
Even
like
during the summer.
And the summer, it was just too hot.
Yep.
So we get to do all that now. We get to have the events and make have a little comfort to people who are actually going into the events too.
Right.
Winter
we had
events.
craft fairs with propane heaters in like October.
I remember that.
before we
Yeah.
had the heater in.
Right. Well, and there's just operating expenses. There's electricity. There's things like that, taxes, all those things that you still have to pay as
Security.
security. So there's all these costs that we have to cover, and I'm just so glad that somebody stepped up and preserved this building, and the society has done that, and it's great to see that's happening. So
Yes, and thankfully from the support from the different paranormal groups that come in, it helps pay the monthly bills. Whereas we can focus on getting the grants and run larger events to do the money for the actual like window restoration and stuff like that. So these groups in the paranormal really help us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
well, So. Okay, well let's talk about some of the other events that you do. These are the ones that you sent me for the rest of this year. September 21st is the Psychic Fair, like we talked about. November 29th is the Black Friday Craft Fair from 11 to 6. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we'll have we can house a total of 23 vendors indoors, which will fill up quickly for. You're more than welcome to come out and shop. We figured we'd do it 11 to 6 because there are some people that love to go for the big box store sales, but they also like to support local, and also people who have to work during the day. So this way they can swing on by after work and still shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then in December, you have another event, the Yule Tea Party.
Yes, our tea party. I'm so excited. Yule, winter solstice, actually falls on a Saturday this year. So we can host the tea party. Normally we do them on Sundays, but being solstice is on a Saturday, we are going to host a winter solstice tea party.
Okay.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yes, and all of this information can be found on the Norristown Preservation Society / Selma Mansion page.
Yep. And I'm getting ready to put that up here.
We also do, I know they do like, flea markets too in the past. So it's, there's a lot we could do there. So,
Well,
and there was a
ahead.
question about a Halloween special event this year. This year, we're not going to do one, but we're going to start planning for 2025 shortly. So look for a Halloween event next year.
Jamie, you know what that sounds like? Road trip, doesn't it?
Guys, every episode we do, we talk about a thing or a place or something, and somebody, either one of us or someone in the comments says road trip. So, and this one's a home game basically, for us. So, short drive in, short drive back.
If you come down for a road trip in the spring, we're about 4 blocks away from Old Montgomery Cemetery, which is, there are 5 generals buried in there.
Here come the comments. That says road trip.
Yeah, that's a great cemetery.
My line. So.
Okay, well that's cool. So we mentioned earlier too, there's the holistic fair in the spring. That was in May this past year. So I'm assuming you'll have something something along those lines next year as well.
Yes, that we've been booking it the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Okay.
We have a lot of mothers and daughters that come out to it.
Okay, that makes sense. And there was I believe this year there was also a spring craft fair. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, we do have a spring craft fair, which is different from we also have a holistic fair in the spring.
Okay. So sounds like there's a lot of things going on to just keep people coming in through the doors and seeing stuff. And I like I said, when I went over, it was a beautiful building. It just definitely had a lot of feeling, like a lot of I picked up on a lot. So.
And there usually gets a lot of energy gets picked up when we have those holistic fairs and the psychic fairs, because of all the energy that we're dealing with the readings, and we're bringing in spirit and the healing work. And so, you want, and anytime you see them, that's when you want to do an investigation that night.
I can tell you
that's a great time.
For a private event next Halloween, October 2025, the mansion's already booked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. That's great.
Right.
That's great.
Guess we have to look at 26 then.
Sabrina, you'll be at the one in 25.
What?
You'll be at the one in 25. Don't worry.
Okay.
So
I remember one time we did the Halloween. Oh my gosh! And for the kids. So it was almost like a little haunted mansion for the children, and I was up in that bathroom trying to scare the kids. So I was locked up in this little cubby that's in that bathroom. Oh boy!
My husband loves doing the haunted houses on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's amazing.
I just all the kids. I mean, that's another thing with Selma Mansion is the children. The children just are gravitate to Selma Mansion. They really enjoy it. It's a good place for them to, to run around. It's just so fun, Michaelene's kids, run around.
Yeah, my youngest is on the spectrum, and if you met him at the house, you would never know it. He's calm.
Oh, really?
He's comfortable. For a long time, we actually had to bring, the first time a new therapist would meet him or a behavioral specialist, we had to always meet them at Selma Mansion. Because if they came to our house, it would be a meltdown. But yet when he met him up there for the first time, it would be just like him meeting someone at an event.
Mhm.
Interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Before we get too far away, I'm going to read Jenny's comment here from Jenny Colucci, who is also known as the nicest person in the world. Just want to say that.
Mhm.
Love you, Jenny. These events sound amazing. I'm happy. I'm loving the tea party and then the road trip. In parentheses, you ladies are obviously doing wonderful work for such a great cause and location. So, and I'd love to echo that as well. Jenny has a great way of phrasing everything. So it's, again, the nicest person in the world. But these tasks of events, they're work. We know this. We have them ourselves. For things that we've done, and the hours that get put into the pre-planning and the hours that get put in at the events, and then the hours that get put in afterwards with all the wrap up and the cleanup and everything go unnoticed by the guests. And that shows it's seamless, right? Because it's all intentionality of having a good guest experience. And if you weren't doing it right, people wouldn't keep coming. And it's a testament, to the work that the whole group that you have is doing. And we thank you, because it allows us to get there too. And we will get there, sooner than later, hopefully. But thanks for keeping the lights on for us, and allowing groups like, these weird paranormal people to show up.
You get these messages out of the blue saying, "Hey, can you come on our podcast?"
and answering weird messages, right? Yeah, from strangers. It's. I think there was something mentioned way early on. I wanted to comment then, but the paranormal community is full of amazing people, and I was listening to something yesterday, and I'm like, what is paranormal? What is normal? Anymore? Like, there's so much stuff that happens around us that we aren't paying attention to. But paranormal people stop and watch and listen and observe. And I think that line is getting narrower instead of wider between the two at times. So, and having places to go that and for your son is a safe space, to go to where you're welcome to come, means the world to people, spectrum or not. And we have spectrum kids here too. So I totally understand that happy place, that calm place. You look for that. And when you find it, you want it to be available to you. And it matters. And thanks is my point to saying all of this. Thanks for the work. And I know a lot of it goes unnoticed, and events pop up, events come and go. But the work that the team puts in before it and during it really help. And I'm a guy that's happy to support that, and I will every chance I can.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
And we've had people come show up for our events. One lady, Anna, she showed up with her 2 aunts at the first tea party we had. Now she's one of our best friends. She comes, she volunteers, she helps at events.
Yes, she does. A lot of them do, yeah.
Yeah,
And those tea parties, those tea parties, it's just so fun to everyone is different. It's not like the same tea party. It's a themed. They're all themed.
yeah.
So it's like it's just so fun.
Last year
what are some of the Alice in Wonderland, right?
we did like a summertime one, iced tea and lemonade. We did a Halloween one.
Yes, we did.
A Friendsgiving.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's different. And then you do I think you do also community stuff too. Like, so you have what, coffee with the cops too, correct?
Yes, we haven't hosted one since before the pandemic. Looking to get it back out and hosting another one soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're
Oh,
I think it's coffee or hot chocolate, something like that. I mean, so they're like different things for the community.
A lot of communities host those. They're fantastic ways for kids to meet police officers, not be scared of them. As
In a safe space. Yeah.
In a safe space, the imagery of police is a lot different than the reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it opens up that door and starts a dialogue. That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have a curious question, and I'm supposing that you have some kind of tracking mechanism, though, where your guests are coming from. I'm assuming so, and I may well be wrong here, so bear with me. But I'm wondering, what's the farthest you're aware of that someone has come to get to the mansion?
We've had them from Massachusetts. We've had people from Virginia, Tennessee.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's not a day trip, right? So they've come.
As far as like coming to vend or coming to just hang out
Either-
or investigate.
Either or. You know, I'm thinking more like guests that would be attending an event, but vendors also qualify here. You know,
Yeah.
and the reason I'm asking, you know, like Virginia, Massachusetts, you know, that's not a day trip. It's not
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
just running the day like us in Lancaster County running out. You know, we're back and forth in an hour.
Yeah.
But
I
when
know
somebody
the one
comes,
event, we looped it with the band BTS. They're a Korean K-pop band.
okay,
And we had vendors there with that stuff. We had people from like 8-9 hours away that drove out just for the event.
Wow. That's so cool.
And that's smart, tying it with something like that to get more people there. That's
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great idea. So,
I mean,
but I
that's
think
how
we're
vendors is all the way. I guess the gypsies, mountain gypsies are Tennessee, so I'm not sure if there's anybody further than that, but I know the mountain gypsies come and they vend, so they're all the way there.
I mean, and again, I think that's what Jamie was alluding to have a vendor to commit coming 8 hours to an event here, where I'm sure there's other events that are closer to them. It just says something about coming to support your event and what you've done and how you've built it up. So
absolutely,
kudos to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's two parts to that too. And I think we all know this, that Norristown is more fun when you sleep over, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
you know, but you're bringing people in, you know, for an event, and then they're staying and they're adding to the economy of your community. You know,
Correct.
they have to stay in a place. They have, unless they bring their own, you know, RV or something. But most are staying somewhere, and the guests certainly are. And you know, with that, then they're spending a little bit more, you know, as far as an investment of their capital in your community when they're able to be there overnight. You know, so there's economic drivers there that these kind of events bring in that you don't see on your side, but it helps everybody. And that's a
I know
really
for
cool
this
thing to do.
Psychic fair, we have a couple of people who booked hotel rooms. They're
Yeah.
driving from about 2-3 hours out.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I
John
mean,
Cutler-
you can turn around and drive home, but they
Yeah.
choose to stay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm a foolish person that drove up to the Hinsdale house in Hinsdale, New York, and back in the same day for an
Oh
hour.
my God.
Yeah, it's 4 hours each way. The stupidest thing I may have ever done.
Or,
Always stay over from now on.
I'm
Not recommended.
7.
So yeah.
No.
Well, do you guys have it? I want to respect your time tonight. So, do you guys have any other things before we go through what we've got coming up? Anything you want to throw out for us?
I'm just
No, if you have any different event
Psychic
ideas,
fair.
The psychic fair.
if anyone has any
It's
different
happening.
event ideas, shoot them out and we'll take a look and see if it's possible to come up with a way to host something.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're always looking for new ideas. We did find that events like June, July, and August just do not work well in our area.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay.
All right, I'm going to post a comment from Todd and Carmela. Another wonderful show highlighting such an amazing location. Look forward to getting back there soon. Lots of exclamation points. And thank you, Michaelene and Sabrina, for preserving a part of history.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And
it.
Thank you.
a similar comment from Jenny. Thank you, Michaelene and Sabrina. And we thank you as well.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
was fantastic. I've learned a
And
lot
we have
tonight.
a third partner who had to work tonight, D.
I know, Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to her.
We will have to do another episode at another time
Mhm.
and make sure
Yeah,
she gets
she's
here
a
with
huge
us.
part of us.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
And Jodi was going to join us too, Jodi Nettles, but she couldn't make it as well. I believe she does some stuff there with you guys. So
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
so
Cool.
so we're gonna
Teamwork makes the dream work, my friends. We all know that.
Yes.
So Jamie, let's quickly go through what we've got coming up. I'll throw this up and let you talk through it.
Yeah, so Monday, a little something different for us. We've been invited to join Entity Voices Paranormal for their podcast Monday evening, this coming Monday evening. I believe it's at 9:00. I hope so.
That's correct.
That's when I plan to be there. I had a moment of panic yesterday when I thought it was yesterday at 9:30 or so, and I thought somebody would have called me by now, like texted me. Then I read the email. I'm like, okay, good, I'm good. Then coming in the next evening, our regular schedule back on September 17th, or up on September 17th, I'm going to tackle the Dyatlov Pass mystery or incident, as it's often called as well. The episode that happened back in the late 50s, early 60s in the Soviet Union. It's still really not explained very well today, so I'll leave a little mystery behind that. And then I'm going to say this wrong because I've done it 3 times now. Chad on the 24th is going to tackle the Lost Lighthouse Keepers of Ilion Moor. Good, maybe they get it.
Close, yeah.
Close, yeah. That's a horseshoes and hand grenades moment. Close is not good enough. Elon Moore.
Yes, Elon Moore, I believe is. I have a couple weeks to work on it too. So
yeah, right. That's what Google's for, right? Yeah, to translate. Then after that, I'm going to tackle the third man syndrome. Chad's coming with Wilson Castle up in Vermont. I'm looking forward to this one. And then I'm going to tackle the Well of Barhout in the Middle East. And it's going to be a throwback to our Jinn episode quite a while ago, which should be coming around on our uploads to our outlets here pretty soon. I think it's in the fall of early fall, early winter, whatnot of last year. So it's coming around. And here we go. A new date was added. We're going to the 22nd of October. We're going to talk with Daryl Marston. You guys know Daryl from being at the mansion as well, formerly of Ghost Hunters and all kinds of cool things, an author and all that. But we're going to have an investigation with him and Ron and Lourdes from Satacom coming up on the 19th of October. So we're going to bring Daryl in and do a post episode of that investigation evening at Booby's Brewery. So, which I guess is going to be the next slide, right, Chad?
Yep. I got Daryl locked in last night, Jamie.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to this. So on October 19th, like I mentioned, we have the spooktacular event at Booby's Brewery in Mount Joy, PA. This is a fun night. It's going to be Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters and Ron Iacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez with the Staticom project. And that is the Entity Voices Paranormal podcast we're on. Is their podcast too. So we'll talk more about this next week, I guess. But they have such a fantastic and amazing technology they've created that captures so much more than we ever have been able to before. And I'm not going to steal their thunder. I'll let them get to that. But I've been looking for this date for so long. And we did an event with them last year at the Red Mill in Clinton, New Jersey. And I couldn't make it. I broke my silly self, broke my foot. And I'm in a walking boot and I couldn't navigate all the stairs and such. And I missed them. And, pun intended, I'm kicking myself ever since. So I'm so excited we got a chance to book this event. So it's coming up at Booby's Brewery. Tickets are available on the brewery website. They are selling fast, so there are some left, of course, but it is a ticketed event. It's a limited engagement, so there's only going to be so many available for the evening. So, and then otherwise, we're coming back around to we were just at the brewery last weekend. We're coming back around on the September 28th and October 12th. Looking ahead to November 16th and 7th of December, wrapping out the year there with our regular monthly events. So if you guys get a chance, my friends, please come and see us there too. If you get out into Lancaster County at all, you're always welcome. You'll always be on the list kind of thing. Just give Chad or I a heads up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've never investigated. Been there to eat, but I've never been in.
Yeah. So you're going to get, unless you did a mystery, like a murder mystery dinner, you would be in a place that you've not seen yet. And the original Central Hotel, which is the home base of the original operation, is the parts we get to investigate, as well as the catacombs, which are the fine dining establishment now underground, like 43 feet actually underground. But the original bar, the Eloise Bar, is part of our investigation, as well as the second floor, which was the original residence level. Activity all over. So it's quite a thing. And we, as the host team, we're fortunate. We get to go back every couple of weeks and do this on a regular schedule. So I can tell you all kinds of things, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But I think it's well worth the drive and the time to come on out and investigate. Happy to have you.
Just reach out to us, Sabrina.
Yeah, definitely.
Anytime.
Yeah. You'll be here.
Open invitation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And then
and our social media stuff. Yeah, most of you found us here either on Facebook or YouTube tonight as our live show goes. But we're going to be posting this episode tomorrow on the usual podcast outlets of Apple, Spotify, I'm forgetting all of them.
I
Chad,
heart.
help me.
I
Thank
heart
you.
all those places.
You would think I know this stuff by now. I need to read something. That's the problem. And with that, this is a live podcast with visual presentation. I'm trying to read the comments so that everybody can see that, but we had slides here with the beauty and the charm of the Selma Mansion in full display. So please, if you do get a chance, take a look at if you get a chance to get this on video instead of just audio. It's well worth the changeover to click on that instead. What a beautiful place. It really just is. And I can't say thanks. I keep saying thank you, and I mean it, for all the efforts that the entire group has been doing through all of these years to keep this place up, open, and just, man, it's so cool. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure.
Definitely our pleasure.
Absolutely.
Well, just to wrap it up, we want to thank you guys. We want to thank all our listeners, our viewers, everybody who's with us here tonight, and everybody who's watching or listening sometime in the future. Get out to Selma. That's all we can say. Get out to Selma. Support them. They're doing great things. So,
absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a paranormal thing, right?
Wow.
Tea parties, other events, the craft fairs, stuff like this. It's not just a paranormal gig.
Mm-hmm.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a family-friendly events as well. So
Yes,
bring
very
the gang.
much so. Mm-hmm.
Bring the whole gang.
Pets
all right.
included.
And just
Dogs are
remember,
very
if you
welcome.
bring the grandparents with the kids, you don't have to buy as much stuff.
That too.
Thanks. Yep.
Pet friendly.
So,
Speaking
Friend-
of
everything.
events, I forgot to give Michaelene, I forgot to give you the Easter bunny outfit this past weekend. So you gotta remember the Easter bunny outfit.
Okay.
there's got to be a story there, but we'll
I think we might have to save that for the next time. But
Yeah, we do Easter stuff too.
okay. So
We're
All right,
looking
well,
for a
we-
Santa Claus for our winter event.
Yeah, we need a
we
Santa.
know a guy, Jamie. We know a guy.
you know a guy. Hold on.
We
He might
have
even
the
be with us.
suit. We need a body.
Yeah.
He may have his own suit, but actually, I know two people that we may be able to.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Okay,
later.
we'll talk.
All right. Well, again, thank you. We're gonna roll our end credits, guys. Hang on for a minute, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.